It's pretty, isn't it? I got it from the St. Paul YWCA. It's the biggest gift anyone's ever given me. And the YWCA has given me a lot, let me tell you. The YWCA is pretty new in St. Paul. They tell me that a group of women met at the House of Hope Presbyterian Church and decided to start an organization to provide physical, social, and religious uplift to young women. I never thought that would mean me. I came to St. Paul because I heard there were jobs here. My mother and father weren't doing too well back at home, and the farm was just barely making it. There was nothing for me there. Turns out, I wasn't the only young woman who came here. There were thousands of us. Even though I got a job in the factory almost right away, it wasn't enough for me to live on my own. But I can pay for the room and the meals at the YWCA. And I've even made some friends. And I'm even taking stenography lessons and other classes at the YWCA to help me get a job in an office. Once I get that job, I'll be able to make it on my own. And so I figured I'll even be able to start sending money back home. So I think I'll be all right.
There are so many organizations that have been strong for a long time and really critical to this community, and the YWCA is one of those.
They're one of the few organizations that know how to do partnerships because they don't set themselves up as the experts. And they look at what's needed in terms of a holistic approach to families, and that takes partnering.
The YWCA has been one of our truly great partners, and we don't think of it as just as women, because I think really the whole concept of good for women really speaks to good for young boys, good for young men, good for the whole family.
It has been seen as a leader in a number of areas. Number one, service for women, and not just women, but women of color, women of various cultures. Also, it is service to men.
All I can say, it's a great place for everybody. Everybody should try to come, join, do what they do. It helps a lot of people out. Some people don't even realize how much it helps out.
There will always be other women who are facing the same issues or new issues, and the Y will be there to support them.
This is the second time the YWCA has given me a gift. The first time was when I was 15. I was having a really hard time, even more so than most girls my age. That summer I went to camp in Stillwater. It changed my life. The girls I met there... There was one counselor named Barbara. She saved my life. 10 years later, the YWCA is helping me again. I'm divorced. I have 2 children, David and Barbara. Yes, I named her Barbara. There aren't a lot of women like me, or so I thought. But the YWCA has a single parents club. It doesn't sound like much, but the women I've met there, well, they mean more to me than... Well, I'll be friends with them for the rest of my life.
The friendships that are created at the YWCA are based on people's common interests, but they also focus on what they can do collectively. When women come together, they feel a strength.
One of the things that I really like is that you can come here, be anybody, and do anything and find something that works for you here.
It made me a stronger person. It made me to believe and trust in people, because at the time I wasn't trusting anybody because after what my husband did to me.
It's not a matter of they give you a handout, they give you a hand up so that you can achieve great things on your own. And we see that especially with the kids.
This is a place that will help you with everything that you're going through. When you're having problems, tough times, when you think your parents doesn't understand, no one understands your friends, it's a place to come in and feel like you're safe.
"37 days. That's how long we stayed at the shelter. Never thought I'd end up in one. I never had much money. We were always living paycheck to paycheck. And even after I left my husband, He had an anger problem. I was able to provide for my family, but then my youngest got sick. I had to stay home, and I got fired. By that time, I was 2 months behind in rent, and we got kicked out. That was a long 37 days. But the YWCA found us a better place. They call it transitional housing, but for a year and a half, my boys and I called it home. And that was just the beginning. I never finished high school. But the YW helped me get my GED and got me into a job training program. And I joined a counseling group. I'm not the same person I was. And my boys, I was afraid they'd turn out just like their father, my oldest one especially. Hitting people, always angry. But the youth programs, life-changing. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that everything's perfect. We got a ways to go. But we now have our own place and I got a good job. We're getting there.
You know, what's interesting about the YWCA, you might think it's just a program for women and maybe it's a rec facility, but it's so much more. And it's a quiet organization, really doing a lot of work with not only with women, but with youth, and helping them really discover their potential.
They help me with job skills, people skills, and communications, and how to talk to your coworkers.
They just told me that I can be successful at anything that I do, and I believe it now.
The YWCA is really a wonderful institution for developing family relationships and stronger families.
You need organizations like this who first have a core mission, but also have the capacity to stretch out and address some of those new problems. And if this organization has done what it's done in the last 100 years, it's going to be very much needed and very much valued over the next 100 years.
I think that the YWCA is probably one of the best kept secrets. And I don't mean that because they don't want people to know. They're so busy doing the work. And sometimes there's such a humility that one does not shine its own light. And there should be more of that done by the YWCA.
This was the best gift anyone could give me, but it's time for me to pass it on.
It doesn't always come in the same package, but what's inside is always the same. It's what the YWCA has given St. Paul for 100 years.
It's hope. And if you ever need it, it's yours. And if you don't need it right now, maybe you know someone who does.